Questions let about professional education. Part 14. Question number 1. Teacher Sophia used to ask her students to write essays on paper. Now, she lets them write their essays using Google Docs, where they can use spell check and comment on each other's work in real time. Which level of the SAMR model does this situation illustrate? Letter A. Substitution. Letter B. Augmentation. Letter C. Modification. Letter D. Redefinition. The correct letter is C. Modification. Since teacher Sophia first allowed her students to change from writing essays on paper to using Google Docs, this represents substitution. Next, when the students used this digital tool to check spelling and grammar, this shows augmentation. Finally, when teacher Sophia allowed her students to collaborate in real time and give peer feedback using Google Docs, this demonstrates modification, because technology transforms and redesigns the original essay writing activity. In this scenario, the students are able to collaborate actively with their classmates and peers and changing the way learning takes place. What is SAMR model is created by Dr. Ruben Puentedura to help educators evaluate how deeply technology changes or enhances the learning experience from simply replacing traditional tools to completely transforming learning. First is S as substitution, which means the technology acts as a direct substitute from a traditional tool like, for example, pen and paper tool, but with no functional change. Second is letter or as augmentation. The technology still acts as a substitute, but with some functional improvement. For example, using Google Docs, a digital tool, which allows students to check spelling, grammar, and vocabulary automatically. Third is M as modification. In this level, the technology allows for significant task redesign and the activity will have done in a new and improved way. For example, students use Google Docs to collaborate with their peers, share ideas, and give real-time feedback on each other's work. This interaction leads to changes and improvements in the original writing task, showing that technology has transformed the way students learn and work together. And lastly is R as redefinition, which technology allows for new tasks that were previously impossible without it. For example, after writing and revising their essays in Google Docs, students publish their work online as blogs or digital articles, or they record podcasts discussing their topics and share them with a global audience. This transforms the learning experience as students are no longer limited to the classroom. Question number 2. Jana's mother has long working hours, which prevent her from spending time with her child. Even though the workplace itself does not directly involve the child, this situation affects the child's emotional well-being. Which system is influencing the child according to Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory? Letter A. Macrosystem. Letter B. Mesosystem. Letter C. Chronosystem. Letter D. Exosystem. The correct answer is letter D. Exosystem. It involves the mother's workplace, an external environment that does not directly include the child or Jana but influences her development by affecting her mother's availability and emotional connection. The ecological systems theory explains how a child's development is influenced by different layers of their environment. The 5 levels on the theory of Urie Bronfenbrenner. First, the microsystem. It is the child's immediate environment. This levels has a direct interactions to the person or child that shape daily life, including the family, school, friends and teachers. Second is the mesosystem. It has a connections between microsystems like how home affects school or how parents and teachers communicate. For example, when parents and teachers regularly communicate and support the child in school, it helps improve the child's academic performance. Third is the exosystem. It is the indirect environment where the child is not directly connected to the parent's workplace but is still affected by it. A parent's long working hours or stressful job can reduce the time and energy they spend with their child. 4. Macrosystem. It represents the wider system that encompasses culture and society, including their beliefs, traditions, laws, and values. Fifth is the chronosystem. It involves changes that occur over time, including life transitions and significant historical events. For example, divorce, pandemic, disaster, moving, or growing up in the digital age. Question number 3. Gross motor development involves: letter A, small muscle movements of the hands and fingers. Letter B, large muscle movements that help with balance and coordination. Letter C, emotional control and self-expression. Letter D, cognitive reasoning and memory. The correct letter is B, large muscle movements that help with balance and coordination, because the gross motor skills involve large muscle movements that control actions like walking, running, and jumping. While fine motor skills involve small muscle movements of the hands and fingers used for precise tasks like writing, buttoning, and drawing. Question number 4. Ms. de la Cruz writes this objective: at the end of the lesson, students will identify the parts of a plant. Which statement best describes this learning objective? Letter A, it is measurable but not specific. Letter B, it is specific but not time-bound. Letter C, it is a SMART objective. Letter D, it lacks relevance to the lesson. The correct letter is letter C. It is a SMART objective because the scenario shows a clear and well-defined learning goal. SMART as S for specific. The students will identify the parts of a plant, which clearly states what they are expected to learn. M for measurable. The students can label and name the parts of a plant, allowing the teacher to assess their understanding. A for achievable. It is realistic and attainable because the topic is focused on a specific concept that can be learned within a single class period. R for relevant. It fits within the science curriculum and connects to real life, as learning the parts of a plant helps students understand how plants live, grow, and function. And T for time-bound. The phrase, at the end of the lesson, provides a clear timeframe for achieving the objective. Question number 5. In a social studies class, Ms. de Vera poses a question: why do you think people move from rural to urban areas? Students brainstorm ideas, share their thoughts, and analyze possible reasons. What method is shown? A. Discovery method. B. Role-playing. C. Lecture method. D. Discussion method. In this scenario, the approach is a clear example of the discussion method. It shows that teacher de Vera acts as a facilitator, guiding the flow of conversation while students actively participate. The students share their ideas, express their thoughts, and analyze possible reasons behind the topic. Through this method, every student has the opportunity to develop critical thinking, communication skills, and a deeper understanding through interaction and collaboration. The discovery method, on the other hand, allows students to find out information on their own through exploration, investigation, or experimentation. In role-playing, students act out or dramatize real-life situations to understand a concept or develop empathy and communication skills. And lastly, the lecture method is where the teacher does most of the talking and students mainly listen and take notes. Question number 6. Teacher Ivy uses varied learning activities because she believes students have different learning styles and multiple intelligences. What foundation of curriculum does this show? Letter A. Philosophical. Letter B. Sociological. Letter C. Psychological. Letter D. Historical. The correct answer is letter C. Psychological. Since teacher Ivy believes that students have different learning styles and multiple intelligences, her approach is based on how learners think, learn, and behave. This directly relates to the psychological foundation of curriculum, which focuses on how students learn, are motivated, develop, and exhibit individual differences. All of these aspects help teachers design lessons and learning experiences that suit diverse learners. The 4 foundations of curriculum. First, the psychological foundation. It focuses on how students learn, their development, motivation, and individual differences. Second is the historical foundation. It focuses on past events, educational movements, and key figures that shape the curriculum. Third is philosophical, which focuses on values, beliefs, and goals of education. For example, why do we teach? What is the purpose of education? Fourth or last is sociological foundation. It deals with the influence of society, culture, and community on the curriculum. Question number 7. During a math lesson on fractions, Muslim first reviews students' understanding of division and whole numbers. She then introduces fractions as parts of a whole, showing examples that relate to what students already know. What type of learning strategy is this? Letter A. Rote memorization. Letter B. Discovery learning. Letter C. Meaningful learning. Letter D. Problem-based learning. The correct answer is letter A. Meaningful learning. In this situation, Muslim first reviews division and whole numbers, which represents what students already know, before introducing fractions. This approach helps students understand the new concept in context. It is classified as meaningful learning because new information is connected to prior knowledge, allowing students to grasp the concept more effectively. The rote memorization would involve students memorizing fractions without understanding their meaning. The discovery learning involves students exploring concepts on their own, rather than being guided by the teacher. And problem-based learning focuses on solving a complex real-world problem first. Question number 8. To prepare students for the 21st century, the school added lessons on coding, digital literacy, and critical thinking. What does this represent? Letter A. Curriculum innovation. Letter B. Curriculum evaluation. Letter C. Curriculum implementation. Letter D. Curriculum revision. The correct answer is letter B. Curriculum innovation because it refers on introducing new ideas, subjects, or methods to improve education and make it relevant for contemporary needs. In this scenario, adding coding, digital literacy, and critical thinking is a new approach designed to prepare students for the 21st century. These are not just updates to existing content, they are new elements reflecting modern educational demands. The curriculum evaluation is about assessing or reviewing the effectiveness of the curriculum, not adding new content. Next, the curriculum implementation refers to putting an existing curriculum into practice, not introducing something new. Lastly, the curriculum revision involves modifying or updating existing content. Question number 9. Kevin observes his classmate solving a math problem step by step and then tries to solve a similar problem in the same way. Which learning theory does Kevin's behavior illustrate? Letter A. Bandura. Letter B. Bruner. Letter C. Skinner. Letter D. Pavlov. The correct answer is letter A. Bandura's social learning theory. In this case of Kevin, he does not figure out the solution entirely on his own. Instead, he imitates or models his classmates' behavior. He observes carefully, remembers the process, and then replicates the steps to solve a similar problem. This process is called observational learning or modeling. This modeling is the act of learning by observing and imitating the behavior of others. It is one of Bandura's key contributions, showing that people can acquire new skills, attitudes, or behaviors without direct instruction or trial and error learning. Question number 10. Mr. Vergara was assigned to observe a junior high English class. During the lesson, the teacher used multimedia presentations, group discussions, and oral recitations. What should Mr. Vergara record in his observation notes? Letter A. The color and design of the PowerPoint slides. Letter B. The types of teaching strategies and how they affect student participation. Letter C. The number of minutes spent on each activity. Letter D. The grammar mistakes made by the students. The correct answer is letter B. The types of teaching strategies and how they affect student participation, because the observation notes should focus on how teaching strategies influence learning and student engagement, not on minor details like slide design or grammar errors. By recording the methods used such as multimedia presentations and group discussions, and also noting how students respond, observers gather useful evidence of effective teaching. These notes also serve as a basis for feedback and reflection, helping teachers improve their strategies and foster more active learning. In this way, observation becomes a valuable tool for continuous improvement and professional growth in teaching. Thank you for watching.